NXT, speaking of doors that won't lock themselves, God almighty. Can I just tell you what they've done to the show that we used to enjoy watching? Just real briefly.
Yes, but for the record, it is NXT 2.0.
Yeah, well, it was on 2/15, Vengeance Day. Vengeance is mine, saith Bruce and Vince. The open of the show, and I'm going to make a point with a lot of this stuff here. It'll start becoming apparent. The open of this show was the three toxic attractions laying around on obviously staged sets. Where the Gigi Allen girl is in a frilly girl's bedroom and she's got a rose between her teeth. And what's the main toxic one? The one they made her do her hair brunette.
Toxie.
God damn it. No, the Mandy Rose.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, well, she's laying beside the pool and everything's arranged with the champagne, and the other girl, they're on sets and they're texting each other. And you see the texts pop up on the screen. And they're not only texting each other about their their interaction, but they're talking about the matches that you're going to see on the program and, ooh, this guy's cute or whatever. I don't fucking know. It's some fancy Dan video editing. But obviously, these obnoxious twats sitting there texting each other all this shit that we see on the screen like this is somehow real. It's all fucking, that's to start the show. And the theme throughout the show will be everything is phony as a fucking football bat. Everything. The first match, and by the way, if you text people back and forth, get a goddamn job, get a goddamn hobby, get a goddamn life, get something. If you're sitting there texting small talk back, and I know people do this, what the fuck? Goddamn, do something with your life. Do you need to talk to somebody on the fucking phone? Pick the phone up, call them and say, hey, I'm going to be here at such and such time. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or ask a question or whatever. Okay, we're done. You're going to sit there typing on a telephone back and forth, inane chatter with people. It doesn't matter. What the fuck? Now that I've pissed off the entire world, guess what the first match was on the show, Brian?
I have no idea.
A weaponized cage match.
That was my first guess, but I didn't get a chance.
Yeah, it was on the tip of your tongue. The hat on a hat match. They had garbage cans at a table and chairs, not only in the ring, hanging from the cage. A cricket bat was hanging from the cage. It was Pete Dunne and Tony D'Angelo, the fake Italian and the guy with the weird fake tan.
Well, I think he's really Italian.
Well, he doesn't know fucking Guido and Vito down on the docks that are going to fucking sleep with the fishes or whatever. That's a complete 90s WWF gimmick. I'm sure that Vince loves it. Within the first 2 minutes of this match, they were fighting over a toolbox, bright red toolbox, immaculate, cleanest toolbox ever. And this was a fake garbage match because everything was so brand new. It was so cool. They had a cage match with chairs and toolboxes, and one guy had the other guy's finger in a socket wrench and the cricket bat. And it sounds like I'm making this up to make it sound like a shit show, but I'm not. It just was. But everything was brand new. Purchased just for this, not a dent, not a ding, not a blemish. Cleanest toolbox I've ever seen. You could eat off of it. They can't, the whole thing is without emotion. It's fake. It's phony. It's plastic. At one point, Tony D'Angelo superplexed Pete Dunne off the top of the cage and got a 2 count. And then he zip-tied Pete Dunne's hands behind him. I'm skipping through here, guys. I'm just giving you the high points. After he zip-tied Pete Dunne's hands behind him, he took a claw hammer and tried to pry his teeth out. And then they went.
This doesn't even sound real. I mean, listening to you recap this, it sounds insane.
I'm telling you, it's not drugs. I am not on the drugs yet. They went 5 more minutes with the guy with his hands zip tied behind him. And then finally, D'Angelo goes to pick him up and do something. And Dunn gets D'Angelo in a front face lock while Dunn's hands are still zip tied behind him. So D'Angelo has to crawl and reach and get the pliers out of the toolbox and cut the zip ties off of Pete Dunne's hands to get out of the front face lock. And that's when I said, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, you always thought you were so smart with your handcuff key. You never foresaw the day of the zip tie.
I'm going to start carrying around bolt cutters in my back pocket. So I quit after that. I don't know what the fuck happened. It was ridiculous. So I skipped ahead. Raquel Gonzalez. Well, I shouldn't say. We didn't see Raquel. We saw Cora Jade. She's the young little girl. She was in bed asleep. And
hold on. Where's the bed? The bed's backstage at the wrestling event?
No, the bed. She's in her house. She's in her apartment, apparently, asleep. And the phone rings, and the camera shot gets her phone screen because there's a cameraman in the room at 5 a.m. in the morning when her phone rings and she's in bed asleep. I don't know what they were just filming, but she's in bed asleep. Phone rings. It's Raquel Gonzalez calling Cora Jade. Cora Jade said, it's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm in bed asleep with my cameraman, Trick's Mouth. We just got finished filming. And Raquel wants Jade to get up and go phony train because they're in the Dusty Cup. So Cora Jade gets up out of her bed and looks out the window, and there's Raquel Gonzalez down in the parking lot, 2 or 3 stories below, waiting for us. So they go and they have an actual phony training montage where they have a video montage of them phony training. It's almost like one of those the montage movie. Instead of trying on different clothing, they're phony training. Then they talked about other people, not them. Other people talked about the Dusty Cup finals. The Creed brothers, the 2 Shooter brothers. They did an egregiously scripted phony sounding promo with old Malcolm Bivens. But then MSK did the same thing because they've all not only been given exact words to say, but they're all so green that that's exactly what it sounds like. They're reciting all the words they've been given to say. And they're not the way that real people would talk to begin with, so it's even more off-putting. As a matter of fact, that's why I noted this program is like watching a game show where they have comments from the contestants like, hey, Biff Davenport, you're about to climb the Dominator. That's right, Jeff, and when I climb the Dominator, I'm going to dominate it. What the... So then have you seen Toxic Attraction's entrance lately?
I have not, no.
Oh, they are going all the way. They are trying to make the people think that these girls are The Rock. And the girls are trying so hard on the end. You know how Eminem, Matthews, Nitro, and Molina was a great entrance in OVW when they had the music, and we let them do the whole thing. It just organically came about that they started getting longer and longer because the people were into it, and it was a glorious entrance. And they came out looking like rock stars, and they had the paparazzi and the red carpet, and Molina did the splits and everything. We played Superstar, and it was fucking great, right? This is just bleh music and 3 girls trying really hard to be stars, but they're not. And then they had a match. Jane Wayne Gacy and Gigi Allen wrestled Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada. And I didn't watch much of this because right at the start, old Jane Wayne Gacy threw one of the other girls into the ring and then tried to roll in from the floor. She tried to roll in the ring face up, and I've never seen it before. And she bumped her fucking forehead/eyes right into the bottom rope. So she literally could not get into the ring without whacking her face on the fucking rope.
Hold on. I didn't see this, and I'm trying to understand what you're saying. How did she roll? You said she rolled in face.
Face up. Okay. When I roll in the ring, when most people roll in the ring, if you're on the floor, and I'm right-handed, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but you turn to your left and you go face down as you're rolling onto the apron. You roll under the bottom rope so that by the time that you turn over and you're on your back in the roll, you're under the bottom rope and you're getting up in the ring.
Right.
Well, she went to her right and leaned and was on her back by the time that she got on the apron, and then tried to roll under and set up right under the rope and right head face first into the fucking rope. She couldn't get past the fucking rope.
I may need to go back and see this.
She sold it a little bit and went right, went right on. So then there was another thing. Now, two other girls, Amari Miller and Wendy Chu. Wendy Chu is the one with the sippy cup and the pajamas, right? They're asking each other about their Valentine's Day and their interplay with each. It's like they're fucking 12. And then Wendy wants to be Amari's partner, but Amari's not really into that. So then Wendy blows her off and she goes to Dakota Kai and asks her to be her partner. Well, whatever's happened to Dakota Kai since we ain't been watching too close. Wendy Chu asked Dakota Kai to be her partner, and Dakota Kai was sitting there having a conversation with somebody on the left and blew Wendy Chu off. The problem was the person on her left that she was talking to was fucking invisible. There was nobody there. So now apparently she's brain damaged somehow. So then they had, remember the two young Southern gentlemen, Briggs and Stratton.
I remember you talking about them, yeah.
Yeah, well, they were at a country bar, because that's their gimmick, right? They're sitting at a country bar, and they're doing some scripted gaga about Valentine's Day. And by the way, one of the girl wrestlers is the bartender, and she walks in and they say, well, so-and-so, what are you doing here? Oh, this is my folks' place. I help out sometimes. So they just happened to wander into this bar that one of their fucking compatriots works at to fill in for their parents, but they didn't know she was there.
Yeah, by the way, it's a nice way of saying the NXT contract sucks, so I got a second job.
That's right. That's what the fuck was the girl's name? Taylor Wilde, I think it was, in TNA. They had her, she was the women's champion in TNA in 2007, and her real full-time job was working at a sunglass hut up in Ontario. Anyway, Briggs and Stratton start talking, and one of the guys, I don't know if it's Briggs or Stratton, he's talking to the other guy because his date went good on Valentine's Day. They went out and had dinner, or they did something, and then he took her back home, and they had a really nice time. Yeah, nothing happened. But he's so clueless. She said, we're really good friends, so they're having this grown man that supposedly hangs out in these country western bars, doesn't realize when the girl, number one, didn't fuck him on Valentine's Day, and number two said they're great friends, his tag team partner here has to be telling him that's not a good sign. So not only is this incredibly fake, but they're aiming for a 12-year-old audience. If that was a real bar in Alabama where fucking these guys are really from, they'd have had some fucking whore bent over the goddamn dumpster out in the back alley by the time they got this drunk. So then Grayson Waller has two fake cops attempt to arrest L.A. Knight for accosting him previously. And I swear to God, these two fake cops looked like they were so scared. They were in these fake cop outfits, and they looked like they were 22 or 23-year-old fucking wrestling school training students, which they were. And they looked so scared to be on this show, and their movements were so awkward and their facial expressions. It looks like if you shoved a lump of coal up their ass, you to come out with a 12-karat diamond. And they stood there. LA Knight did his best and probably did better than anybody else could have with this bullshit when he's doing the in-ring promo. But it was still bullshit. But he basically found a loophole in the restraining order, since Grayson Waller had touched him as well as him touching Grayson Waller, that just neutralized everything. And the fake cops turned around and walked out of the ring and let LA Knight beat Grayson Waller up and did nothing because he found a loophole. So since you touched me, basically I committed a crime on you, but you committed a crime on me. So now it's even. These cops can leave and I'll beat you up again. And they went for it. Then there was some more backstage romance with Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell. Remember they?
Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Yeah.
It's a wrestling themed teen comedy on Nickelodeon. Guess what they've done to Cameron Grimes?
I forgot about him too. What'd they do to him?
Well, he has taken our Manscaped advertisements a little to heart.
Oh no.
Yep. He is as slick as cum on a gold tooth from his neck down to his waist. They have shaved his chest, his arms, his back. Remember that sweater he used to wear?
Yeah.
Fucking gone. Not only that, but his beard is neatly trimmed and his hair is coiffed.
Oh my God.
He now looks 12 years old, fishy white, and looks like he weighs 140 pounds. The body hair added 40 pounds.
Who was it? Was it Laurinaitis? Who was it that said to him, you got to shave all your body hair off and cut your hair? Who said it?
The only thing that made him stand out, the thing that made him look like some type of gimmick that you could halfway take seriously, now looks like a small, pale child. And combined with him working with Carmelo Hayes, who is smaller than he is, I mean, they're both. Hayes is a good-looking athlete for his size. Grimes he's Bob Eaton body, has no muscular definition whatsoever, but he's also approximately 50 or 60 pounds lighter and several inches shorter than Bobby was. And he's not tanning now that I don't even know if you can tan that skin. Think about what grass looks like if you leave like a piece of indoor-outdoor carpeting sitting on it for several months. And then you pull that up. What does the grass look like underneath? His skin has not seen the light of day since he was a fucking pubescent adolescent because of all that hair on him. I don't know if he's got any goddamn, what is it, melatonin? Anyway, so the Samson effect is on Cameron Grimes now. They've shaved his body hair, and now he just looks like some fucking regular fucking indie guy. He could work his ass off. This was probably the best match of the show. But as I said, Carmelo Hayes looks like a mini. At one point, I swear they were on one of the floor cameras using a wide-angle lens and shooting up from the floor to make them look like full-grown men. So Grimes can work like crazy. Hayes, to me, is uninteresting. I didn't give a shit. And I knew Grimes was going to do a job here. And that's what he did, and there you go. But yeah, Cameron Grimes now has about the same amount of hair on his various body parts, at least the ones I saw, as I do.
What do you think that does to a wrestler's confidence?
Not anything good. He's got to be looking in the mirror going, oh, shit. Now I need 30 more pounds and a fucking physique and a tan. You didn't notice it before. Anyway, so then they had some more girls in the back saying some phony shit. And apparently, the tag team that they're trying to get over as the top baby faces for this youthful audience that they are apparently trying to get that they ain't got a snowball's chance in a hot oven of getting. MSK are now the top baby faces. The guys with the bad haircuts, the prison tattoos, and the horrible entrance music, which now features a DJ in a DJ booth playing this awful, ear-assaulting fucking rap bullshit that the MSK delinquents come out to. So they sat back in the WWF office and they said, well, We've got a good show here that people say nothing but good things about, but the audience is older, so we're going to get the young people. So they do everything they can to run off the old people that are watching the show to attract the young people that ain't going to watch this shit anyway, because young people have been told over and over that pro wrestling is bullshit, and they have seen that in action on every other television program with all the other goddamn phony fucking bullshit that they see on the wrestling shows. So young people ain't going to, we might as well just get used to it. Young people are not going to watch this shit because it's fucking sillier, faker, and phonier than ever before. And the more you try to make it for young people to watch, the faker and sillier it becomes, and that runs all the old people off. So there you go. Next match, MSK versus the Creed brothers, the Dusty Classic Finals.
The finals? I didn't realize it was the finals yet.
Oh, yeah, the long-awaited finals. But they also have a girls' Dusty Classic, too. They got to have girls everything. So this is, again, MSK, they're athletic, but I think they already have way so many outlaw, indie-style bad habits and just the goofiness that I don't know if they could be untrained and retrained. The Creed brothers, apparently they've got amateur backgrounds. They wear the shooter-type outfits. Oh, boy. Again, shooter outfits that look like pajamas and tennis shoes, but still, they're just so green. They glow green. This was an overly choreographed modern match, so its greenness stood out even more. And the Creeds are so green. This is what OVW is for, local television. It's not fair to these guys. They've got potential. They're athletes. You can tell they've got something, but it's just so green and so herky-jerky and so what. And the shooter outfits they've got, like I said, they look like kids' pajamas instead of wrestling singlets and the tennis shoes and the whole 9 yards. And MSK is just, they're over there doing spins and cartwheels and unnecessary flourishes, whatever. So this was, I would be at this point, at this stage of their game, I would be just now debating, okay, the Creeds, I might start them in short matches on OVW television. If you'd have said, should we put them on national TV, I would have taken out a stick and beat you about the head and face. It's not fair to these guys. So then MSK made a comeback. They did a bunch of flips and a blatantly illegal tag. This went very long. It wouldn't end. And then finally, a heel just beat one of the baby faces. Flat, clean, without cheating or anything. Okay, it's time to go. Boom, done. Woo-hoo-hoo. Again, this is what OVW was for. It's what your developmental is for. Your developmental is now on national TV. That means you have no developmental. Nikita Lyons. Nikita Fink's going to be pissed because they took her first name. She did a scripted promo. Her father was apparently a rock star that gave her all this advice, but her music is rap too. Everybody's playing fucking rap. I don't care. The English people are playing rap. The white people are playing rap. The men are playing rap. The women are playing rap. Do they have rock bands in England anymore? Also, Nikita Lyons dances and speaks in catchphrases. Then,
I can't believe you're still watching this fucking show.
I swear to God, I couldn't turn away because this is the overriding theme is fake, phony, scripted, and green. That's what you come back to every time. Imperium and Walter were in the ring. Of course, he was calling himself Gunter, but we remember his name was Walter because that's what the fans in their own building were chanting. And Walter was not in his wrestling gear. Walter was not in remember I said, what about a Prussian general's uniform or a field marshal? He wasn't in that. You know what? He was dressed like a real estate agent on a Saturday afternoon. Plain black slacks and a fucking, not even a polo shirt. It was a generic. Wasn't even a name brand, just a fucking generic looking polo shirt. And his two stooges did their scripted verbiage. And then Walter spoke, and you could tell nobody was listening. And you could, because this is rotten and he's being wasted. And he's trying to do some verbiage about the whatever the fuck. And here comes Solo Sikoa, who interrupted the three members of Imperium in the ring, walks to the ring with a microphone, said some more scripted shit. And then he gets up on the apron, and Brian, he says, and I'm about to make Walter or Gunter my bitch. Ooh, everybody goes, right? And you think, now, okay, you got to be a badass son of a bitch to tell old Walter you're going to make him a bitch, right? Wonder what's going to happen here. You know what happened there?
No.
That was a rhetorical question, apparently. No, you don't know what happened there. He said, I'm about to make you my bitch. And then he jumped down and walked off without making him his bitch. And then the announcers had to cover it by saying, well, apparently Solo Sikoa just challenged Gunter for a future, because he didn't challenge him for a future date. He said, he got up on the ring. He said, I'm about to make you my bitch. He fucked up. He didn't remember his wording.
And he left.
And the announcers tried to cover it. And it was flattered in 4 o'clock. A plate full of piss right there. And I've seen that happen where guys, they think they've memorized what they're going to say, and that's their problem. They've memorized it, and when they don't bring it out just like they memorized, they don't make the point, and they don't realize they didn't make the point, and they went on. So apparently sometime in the future, Solo Sikoa is going to make Walter Gunter his bitch. Dolph Ziggler is serving time here now, and he did a good promo about Tommaso Ciampa that had some oomph to it and was delivered well and may or may not have been written for him, but it sounded kind of natural because he's got 20 years of experience. Another OVW guy, OVW alumni. And then for the NXT title, that's the reason I was watching this thing, Pablo Escobar against Breaker Braunsteiner. And I won't even go again into raving about Steiner. Personality overload, advanced, tons beyond his experience. And they had a match where at first old Escobar was putting over his power and strength. And I got to say, Steiner, I think I've said this before too, shows his strength in the ring like Dr. Death Steve Williams used to. You can be the strongest guy in the world, but if you can't show it by picking up dead bodies, not dead bodies, but dead weight or dead bodies, but picking up dead weight and moving it around in a wrestling context. That's what Doc was so good at, even more than Rick Steiner and Scott were both strong, but this one brings it to a new level. And even though Escobar was the veteran, it's clear that Steiner here is the star already. And to be honest, you know, Escobar, the heat when he took over was just, it was lackluster. This guy is just there. He's got experience. I guess he was a star in Mexico. I don't see anything that stands out. As the heat went on, it got worse, not better, because he didn't really know what to do with Steiner. And it wasn't like this was a long match. And Steiner and Ciampa, I think, went even longer, and it was good. Just, you know, it is what it is. And he's got the two Lucha suits and Carmen Electra at ringside, who apparently will never drown. Have you seen old Carmen Electra at ringside there?
I have not, no.
Good Lord. I mean, she gives new meaning to the word Mae West life vest.
Oh, okay. Now I understand when you say she'll
never drown. That's what they used to call those life vests in World War II. Actually, maybe even earlier, the Mae West, because of anyway. Lackluster heat. And thank God Steiner finally made a big comeback and bumped all the heels. And then here came Dolph Ziggler out and got a super kick in for a big pop on a 2 count. But then Ciampa came down and tackled old Dolph, and off they went. And Steiner hit a spear, the press into the power slam, boom, 1, 2, 3. It was, I think, the least of Steiner's matches yet, but it was a great finish, had the people up, and he's a star. It's just, you know, Escobar, there was what there was, and ain't much there. But again, definitely the rookie of the year. I mean, there's nobody... You can talk about a few people that have been on television for the first time over the last year, but that have been in the business a few years before that. From scratch, is there any doubt that this is a runaway freight train with Braun Breaker being the rookie of this year or any other year?
Well, we shall see how they mess him up.
Oh, I love your confidence in the brain trust up there in Stamford. Come on, Brian. You know that they've got a great track record. And we're going to find, I'm sure, SmackDown this Friday and Saudi Arabia, the Super Show on Saturday at noon. That's primetime programming. We're going to talk about those on the Drive-Thru next week or later this coming week now, right?
Well, the beginning of next week, technically.
Well, but see, we are talking now on Friday. And this show, theoretically, God Save the Queen, will come out somewhere around Saturday night, Sunday morning. So it technically it'd be later on this week if the Drive-Thru comes out on Tuesday-ish, Wednesday-ish.
I guess under those rules, yes, that's correct.
Is it this Saturday or next Saturday? Well, I always figure the first Saturday that comes up after this one is always the next one, right? But if it's this Saturday, that's the next Saturday that's coming up. Just look at it like that.
All right. Well, Saudi Arabia it is. Saturday, a big event.
Yes. And, and we're going to get to see our favorite announced team, Fubar Makafaka Lube and Slapco Fudd. I'm sure we'll be back to do this Saudi Arabia Super Show. And I've noticed about these Saudis. They're kind of like Cameron Grimes. You know what I'm saying? They're very hirsute. They got hair coming out of all the orifices. They got it on their chins. They got it on their lips. They got it on their heads. Sometimes they even got it in their jeans. That's where you get hair from your jeans. But if you've got a man in your life that needs to be shaved down, trimmed, slicker than cum on a gold tooth, like old Cameron Grimes, for example. If you want to shave your man down, you want to take away all of his personality, what makes him different, make him just a slick-skinned baby like everybody else. No, it feels good. Folks, it feels good. It feels good not to have all those clumps of hair in all your various orifices and stuck in your cracks and crevices. That's why that the folks at Manscaped make all these products. Now, of course, Cameron Grimes, he's a gimmick. He needs a little hair all around him. But you don't want to smell like a swamp rat every time you sweat in the summertime. Say that a bunch of times fast. So that's why you need Manscaped. Keep you looking good, feeling good, smelling good. And now, the Ultra Premium Collection from Manscaped is here. We've told you about the Lawnmower 4.0 with the advanced skin-safe technology. That's a great piece of equipment. But now you can enhance your perfect grooming routine with the Ultra Premium Collection, which includes the Manscaped Premium Deodorant. Not for your balls on this one, for your old stinky armpits. Folks, if you grab a headlock, could the smell from under your armpits gag a maggot off a gut wagon? Well, if so, you need the Manscaped Premium Deodorant. Also, the Hydrating Body Moisturizer. If you've got issues with tattoos or dry skin, it's designed to keep your skin feeling clean, smooth, and smelling fresh and moisturized. You don't want just a bunch of flakes coming off you at all points, walking around like a human piece of dandruff. You want to keep moisturized. Plus, it's got the body wash in the package here, the Ultra Premium Collection. The body wash, obviously, well, It does what soap is supposed to do. I know most of our listeners are familiar with soap. Most of them. But this stuff has infused aloe vera and a sea salt shower gel. Plus, they've got a 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. So that actually means that you can shampoo and condition at the same time without bothering to rinse and repeat and do all that stuff. It's one easy step. A 3-pack of lip balm comes as a free gift inside the Ultra Premium collection. 3-pack of lip balm. You can kiss ass from now till Sunday and never get chapped. And whatever else you're having to do to keep your job or position or whatever, your lips will be moist. And all of these products are cruelty-free, paraben-free. They have no paraben in them whatsoever. Not one bin or even a paraben. Not however many bins. They don't have any bins. Vegan-friendly, dye-free. And here they have recommendation on using the products in this order. You hop in the shower and scrub-a-dub-dub that body with the Manscaped body wash. Then lather your hair up with the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner. Then dry off and spray on the hydrating body moisturizer. Put on the Manscaped deodorant. And then pop on that Manscaped lip balm. Getting dressed afterwards is optional. Or if you want to do it before you go to bed, just reverse the procedure. Balm your lips, then put on the deodorant, then dry yourself off, then lather your hair up, and then jump in the shower. Because you got to do things in opposite order if it's at night versus in the morning. And then you'll be wet and ready to go to bed. Folks, are you ready now to go to manscaped.com/ no, don't slash me. Just go to manscaped.com and use the code word DRIVE, DRIVE, for 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com, code DRIVE for 20% off and free shipping. And you will feel and smell, well, as good as possible. I mean, some of you, I've seen some of you, and there's not much that we can do without plastic surgery. Manscaped.